Hi you guys, I'm Leanne and I'll be your instructor for your lesson today. We're really excited about today's lesson and we think you're going to love it. As always, make sure that you guys are working on the mat that's provided in the box when you're working on your table. Make sure that you put your name on your project legibly, because there's going to be a lot of you guys coming in and bringing stuff to us, so we want to make sure that we know whose is whose. And lastly, make sure that you clean up really well after each lesson. A bucket of water and a sponge and just a quick wipe down the mat should be all you need. All right, we're excited. Let's get started. Okay, today we are going to make these lovely flower bowls, you guys. So your materials needed are your flower template, your bowl, your clay, slip, a cutting tool, fork, a paintbrush, and an extra sheet of paper. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut out our flower shape. So when you're cutting out, make sure you're going all the way down to get into these little areas where those black lines are. Might not seem important now, but we are going to need it later. So you're just cutting out. Because it's TV. Ta-da! We already have one done. So you can see I went all the way down to those little edges to cut those out. Now I'm going to place my flower on top of my clay. Remember, going from this out and using all corners of the clay. So instead of starting right in the middle here, I'm going to start just down at that side. It's just good practice just to get ready to use your whole slab so you have extra pieces. And I'm going to use my cutting tool and trace around, cutting all the way deep down into those flower petals. When I get done, I'm just going to gently pull this back. Take my excess clay out. And set it to the side. Okay. I'm going to start by just texturizing. As you see in this one, this is the center of our flower. So I'm just going to start by kind of texturizing the center of this flower here before we put it in the bowl. Because we don't want to texturize it in the bowl because it'll press it down so much that it might stick in there and not want to come out. So we're going to do our texturizing at the bottom here. So you guys can choose what you guys want to do. You guys could use your fork here and kind of texturize, overlapping it. You guys could also use the back of your pencil here, or I'm sorry, your paintbrush, and overlap, kind of give it more of a sunflower look. You guys decide what that center looks like for you. Just want to create some interest in there with that texture for the bottom of the bowl, because that's a place where the glaze will pool later on, and it'll be really pretty to have some deep textures in there. Now I'm going to score every other petal. We have 6 petals here, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, scoring both sides of each petal with a fork all the way up, but not the top edge. Just the sides of the petal right here is what we're scoring. Working here, and again, scoring is just roughing up the surface area with the fork. You don't have to go too deep. You just want to create some little indentions into there to help that clay stick together. Now I'm going to use my slip and applying a generous amount. I'm going to go through on each side. And slip over my score marks. Okay, I'm going to put that to the side just for a second. I'm going to take my bowl that was provided in the kit, and I'm going to take this paper right here, and I'm just going to kind of push it down into there. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to overlap just a little bit and crinkle, but that's okay. We want these edges kind of sticking out. And what this helps with is it helps lift this out later on, so we're making sure we don't stick to our form. So you guys have that paper kind of in there. I'm going to bring back in my flour, and I'm going to gently lift it off the board and place that center into that center of that bowl. Come here, and the petals that you scored and slit are going to go underneath the other petal, and by folding this in, it's starting to fold into the bowl. So I'm just working my way around. I'm pushing together, folding in, pushing together, folding in, pushing together, folding in. One petal goes on top of the other. So the score side is going underneath these petals, you guys. Score side is going underneath, and you make your way all the way around into your flower. Now I'm going to come here and I'm just going to press this out and make sure that I got a good attachment between these. So you guys can kind of use your finger on the back and on the front here. Just gently push and gently push. Make sure we've got a pretty good attachment in that area. Don't squeeze too hard so we lose a definition between the petals, but you do want to see that slip kind of ooze out is what we're looking for. Okay. Now we can kind of take this, and this is where it's going to take a little bit of time to smooth out these edges as you're running through, so you guys can take your finger and smooth. As you go, you can take your sponge when it's a little bit damp. Just kind of take these edges and smooth these out. To get rid of all those rough kind of clay burrs. Now I'm going to have you take your fingers and we're just going to start pinching these petals out because it looks like it's very geometric right now. It doesn't look realistic by any means, but you can see on this one, all of our petals on the outside aren't perfect. They aren't perfect. They don't look like they just came from a cookie cutter because we took the time to kind of pinch those out and give them more of an organic feel, thus making it look a little bit more realistic. So between my thumb and my index finger here, I'm just gently kind of pinching and moving out. Again, I'm just pinching and moving out, and I can just kind of smooth these edges out. You see how that kind of lifts that, allowing that bowl to come out just a little bit further, letting the petal fall out and giving us more of that open shape for our bowl. You take the time here and smooth out. If you see any of those little score marks, you can kind of smooth those in. I can take my cutting tool and I can add line work to make those petals look just a little bit more realistic, kind of moving up. Adding the veins through. You guys could add a little bug on here if you'd like. You guys can add whatever kind of details that you'd like. Just whatever you add, just remember that you score and you slip any additions onto your flower. I'll add just a little ladybug right here because that might be kind of cute. So when you guys finish, you take the time just to kind of work on it. We'll end up right here. Now please make sure that you guys put your initials somewhere on this. So if we have this one right here that has the paper into it, you can kind of gently just pull back and right underneath, you can put your initials right here. Or if you don't feel comfortable with that, just make sure when you come back to the studio, we can put your initials on here for you also. Follow cleanup procedures, bring the project back into the bowl, and when we get to here, we'll just gently lift it out for you. But this will help during transport, kind of keep everything together and try to keep it strong. And that's it.